How's it going, people? Salmon Slabber here, and this is the quest guide for Cold War, which is one of the penguin quests, and this one will actually allow you to get more points from the penguin hide and seek minigame, so well worth doing. So let's get to it. So quest requirements, you don't actually need to complete anything. You do need, however, 10 hunter, 15 thieving, 30 crafting, 30 agility, 34 construction, and the ability to kill a level 60 ice lord. Optional quests, you can complete the Creature of Frankenstein and the Fairy Tale sets, and this is just for access to the Fairy Rings and the Ring of Charos. You don't actually need them, but they do make life a little bit easier. I don't actually use the Fairy Rings in this quest, so if you haven't done it, don't worry. Item wise though, you will be needing 10 oak planks, 10 steel nails, 1 mahogany plank, 1 plank, 5 feathers. The white feathers are the only ones that will work, 1 steel bar, 1 silk, 1 swamp tar, 1 soft leather, and you'll either want 1 raw cod or your Ring of Charos. You also need a spade, your tool belt will not work, and you'll also need a hammer. Your tool belt does work. Optional items is your house teleport so you can get around quickly, and also some food would be handy. To start this quest, all you need to do is head over to RD Zoo and talk to Larry. Ask him about the Cold War and quickly run through all of his options. So just say okay, why not, and go along with whatever he says. He'll ask you for a bunch of mats, which conveniently enough we now have in our inventory, so go ahead and talk to him again and just hand them over. Go ahead and say yes, and he will take you over to the iceberg. So once you're at the iceberg, you'll see this little weird farming patch by here. Well, not even a farming patch, but you get what I mean. Go ahead and use your oak planks, and all of a sudden a shed will be built. Go ahead and use your spade on that shed, and now you'll camouflage it. Go ahead and talk to Larry, and you'll have a little cutscene. Pay attention to this cutscene. You need to watch carefully what the penguin does as he arrives, as we'll be needing this little code here in just a second. Unfortunately for me, as you can see, it just ends there abruptly for whatever reason. Don't spam through the chat like I did, and hopefully it won't happen to you. Once you've actually seen that and you remember it, go ahead and choose whatever answer you want. And eventually Larry will say you need to leave. Go ahead and travel in the boat. If for whatever reason your cutscene happened the same as mine, don't worry, I'll tell you what to do when we get to it. So, once you've travelled in the boat, you'll be near Relica. So once you're here, go ahead and talk to Larry, and he'll tell you what's going to happen with the penguins. So he'll give you this little journal and teach you how to make a penguin suit. So, we now need to head home and actually make it. So, go to your house, and hopefully you have a crafting table 3 or higher. If you don't, then you'll be needing a friend's help for this. Quickly read the book and it'll teach you about clockwork mechanisms. Go to your crafting table, or your clockworking bench, and go ahead and make the clockwork mechanism. This will use up your steel bar. Once you've made your clockwork mechanism, use the crafting table again, go to clockwork toys, and then a clockwork penguin. And you'll now make a penguin suit. So, once you've done that, we now need to head back to our dome, and we need to talk to Larry again. So, if you happen to have high enough construction, you can use the portals. If not, then home telly to Ardy, either way. So, Larry will be back where we originally saw him. He'll be in the zoo right next to the penguin cage. So, head there now. So, once you're down here, go ahead and talk to him and ask him about the Cold War again. Tell him that you have it, and then say yes. So, you'll appear back up here in this little iceberg area. Once you're here, talk to Larry once more, and choose whichever option you want. And he'll have to take you back to the zoo. Go ahead and say yes. So, once you're back in the zoo, talk to Larry and ask him about the Cold War. And he'll turn you into a midget and you'll jump inside your penguin suit. Go ahead and use the penguin on Larry. Make sure your weapon and cape is unequipped. If you happen to have a shield, you also want to take that off. So once you have nothing in your hands or on your back, you'll jump inside your penguin after talking to Larry, head inside and talk to one of the penguins. So, remember just a second ago we had that little cutscene. If it actually happened like it did to me and you didn't see what motions he made, you'll now have to do trial and error and choose every single one of them until you get the right combination. There's 3 sets to it, so there's a 1 in 8 chance every time. Remember which ones are correct and literally just go through them, and once you've got them all, just make sure you remember them. Simple as that. For those of you who actually have the decent cutscene, you'll be able to remember them and instantly do it. Once you've given him all of the correct answers, he'll eventually give you a little report book, and we can finally move on. So, this is what he'll say as you do it. Carry on and skip through it all. And eventually he'll hand over this report. And he'll tell us to check on his brothers. You can go ahead and read the mission report. You don't actually have to read it if you don't wish to. Then you want to exit the penguin page and go ahead and talk to Larry. Once you talk to him, you'll be back into human form. So, once you're human, ask him about the Cold War. And you'll tell him about the infiltrated Lumbridge. So, it's time to head over to Lumbridge. So, go ahead and home tele to Lumbridge. So, once you're in Lumbridge, we now need to head to the farm with sheep. So, follow the road just to your north. And just past this little tutorial area, you will find the little fenced off area with the sheep we need to talk to. This right here, you'll see Larry inside as well. To get in, there's a stepping stool on the north side. You can use that to get inside. So, once you're inside, go ahead and talk to Larry. So, you now want to use your penguin suit on Larry, and he'll turn you miniature again, and you'll be back into your disguise. So once you're here, you need to look out for penguin feet on the bottom of sheep. That's the easiest way to distinguish them from everyone else. Once you actually find him, although I seem to be blind at the moment, you will be able to right click and talk to. Like that. So if you carefully look at the feet of this sheep, you'll see that they're actually penguins. So once you talk to them, you need to do the little special dance. This is different for everybody. So just remember the code you've seen in the cutscene at the very beginning of this quest. Do that and go ahead and talk to them. And they'll ask you for the passphrase. So we don't have the passphrase at the moment, so we now need to talk to Larry again. So go ahead and talk to him. You'll go back to human form. Then talk to him once more. And say yes, and he'll teleport you back to the zoo. Once you're back in the zoo, we now need to talk to him once more. You then want to use your penguin suit on Larry. And you'll transform back into a penguin. And we need to head inside and talk to this penguin once again. And then ask him about this passphrase. At this point he'll say no, you can't have it. You then want to equip your Ring of Charos if you happen to have it. If not, then you need to run through the options until eventually you're given the option of passing over a raw card. If the option doesn't come up, then simply use the raw card on the penguin. And eventually he'll give you the passphrase. Once you've got it, head on out and talk to Larry to transform back into a human. And then we need to teleport straight back down to Lumbridge. So again, we need to head back into that little sheep pen, and we need to talk to those penguins once again. Now that we have the passphrase, we can keep talking to them until eventually they give us their book. So I'm sure you've already guessed what you need to do now, but head into the sheep pen and talk to Larry to transform back into a penguin. Once you're penguin mode, go ahead and find the penguins. And go ahead and talk to them once more. This time, you'll give them the passphrase and they'll tell you to talk to Fred the farmer. So we now need to talk to Larry once again. And head back into human form. Once you're back into human form, jump over the fence and enter the little farm just to your left, or the west I should say, and you'll find Fred the farmer. Go ahead and talk to this fella and ask him about penguins, and you can choose either to bully or warn him, either way. I'm quite evil, so I decided to bully him. Once you've done that, you now need to head back into the pen and talk to Larry once again to head into penguin form. Yes, there is quite a lot of back and forth in this one. Once you're in penguin form, you need to talk to these penguins once again, and for the final time, and tell them about the farmer. They'll hand over their report card, and we now need to talk to Larry to head back into human form. So once again, talk to Larry while you're in human form, and you'll tell him all about their cunning plans, and then teleport over to the iceberg by just saying yes. Once you're here with Larry, go ahead and talk to him, and you'll turn back into a penguin once again. Head to your northwest, and eventually you'll come across two penguins. One is Noodle, and one is a KGP agent. You need to talk to the KGP agent. He'll ask for the cunning dance. So, simply do what we did at the very beginning. And then you'll run through the passwords and you'll say you don't have any ID. So go ahead and talk to Noodle, the Rasta penguin. Eventually he'll offer to give you an ID for a trade. Go ahead and talk to him again and tell him you have everything, and he'll give you your new ID. Talk to the KGP again, and this time he'll say you can go ahead. Click on the little avalanche snow little part right next to him, and you'll find the little secret entrance. Welcome to Penguin Kingdom. So, first door on your west is where we need to go, and you need to talk to the agent inside here. And he'll take a bunch of stuff off you and tell you you now need to go for an exam. So ignore him and head west again and run all the way through this corridor up to the large doors. And head on through. So once you're here, you want to talk to the army commander for a second. Quickly run through everything he has to say, and you'll learn of the penguin's plans. At this point, you now want to head up to the northwestern side of this little penguin area, and we now need to run the penguin agility course. And the entrance to it is just by here. So once you're here, the first part is getting past these little rocks. Fairly straightforward. Just spam click until eventually you reach the end. Then you'll be able to climb up a set of rocks just by here. You'll then want to jump east one, then north one, then east twice, then north twice, and finally one more time. Run all the way across this ledge until eventually you come to this right here, this large archway. You then want to click tread softly over the icicles. If you don't, you'll just constantly get hit, and occasionally you will fail it anyway. There's quite a few of these, so just carry on through, treading softly as you go. And then you'll come to this little section, which is mountain climbing. So simply just make your way up by clicking on cross the ice wherever you can, and try to get to the top of this little mountain. If you're low on agility, this could be a bit painful, which is why you brought the food along. For those with high agility, this shouldn't be a problem. Once you're at the top, you'll have this little cutscene here. And eventually we'll be at the finish line. Go ahead and talk to the agility instructor, and he'll give us a pass. Go ahead and head through that little gate there and back in the way we came. And we now need to head all the way outside to Larry. So head through the door to the east, and again to the east until you get into the main corridor, and then head directly south. And exit through here. You'll be back outside again, and we now need to head to the east and then slightly to our southeast, and you'll find Larry. Go ahead and talk to him and tell him about everything that's happened. He'll then tell us to go back inside and find some more info. So go ahead and use the penguin suit back on Larry and get back into your penguin mode. So once you're back as a penguin, head back into the base. So just slightly to your northwest and through the little avalanche, investigate it. Right by here. This time you want to head all the way north. Until eventually you come to these massive gates. So go ahead and try to enter the gates, then try to operate the little machine next to it and talk to the KGP agent standing near those operating machines. Once you've done that, head right to your east, and the very first room you come across, you'll find Ping and Pong. You want to head inside and go ahead and talk to either one of them. And we now need to get some stuff for these guys, as they'll create the distraction we need to infiltrate the penguin base. So once you've been in there, we now need to head all the way back outside to Larry, and we need to gather the items they wanted. So once you're out here, go ahead and talk to Larry and get back into human form. So once you're in human form, go ahead and talk to him, tell him about everything that's happened, and then travel on the boat back to the mainland. So you'll appear just northeast of Relica. We now need to head into Relica, so head almost directly southwest. And you'll hit the Relica fencing. Just follow it all the way around until eventually we can enter Relica. So there's only one item we actually need to collect while we're in Relica, and that is a cowbell. So once you're finally all the way around, go ahead and enter Relica and head to the eastern side. Head slightly north and eventually you'll see the cows and the chickens. So to get inside, you need to head through one of the houses on the northeast side to get to the cow, as we need to steal the cow's bell. Don't mind me, I'm just confused. It's actually the house just there is the one we need to get through. My bad. So once you're here, go ahead and right click and steal the cowbell. And keep trying it until eventually you succeed. So once you've got that, we now need to use the mahogany plank with the leather, and we'll make some penguin bongos. Once we've got all that, we now need to head all the way back up to Larry and get back to the iceberg, so we can give these to those two penguins. So backtrack exactly the same way we came, exit out of Relica to the south, and then follow the fencing all the way around to the northeast. I won't speed this part up, as many of you actually do like to do this quest along with me. So I'll leave it in at normal speed so you can keep up and you don't need to pause the video before you get to the next part. So finally, once you're up here, go ahead and travel with Larry. And if, like me, you're getting harassed by the crabs, just run to the north of Larry and then right-click travel on the boat. And keep spamming space and 1. Eventually, you'll manage to hitch a ride over to the iceberg. And once you're here, you need to talk to Larry and use the penguin suit on him. So once again, we're going to penguin form. Once you're penguin form, we now need to head back into Penguin HQ. So head slightly to your northwest and enter the avalanche. And again, head all the way up to your north. And the second eastern room is the one we need to enter with Ping and Pong. Go ahead and talk to either one of them and hand over the 2 instruments. So you'll get this little cutscene here. Go ahead and skip through it quickly. And eventually you'll distract the guard. As soon as you've done that, head directly to your north, and we now need to operate the machine to open these doors up. So just to your left of this door is the machine we need to use. Go ahead and use it and quickly run through the doors. So once we're finally here, we now need to head to our east slightly, and we need to enter this war room. So go ahead and get inside, and you'll have another big cutscene. So you'll finally be trapped with Ice Lords in prison. You only need to kill one of these, so just pick one and rip it apart. They do use range attacks. Once you've done that, you now need to exit the prison. The cage door is actually on the western side. And we now need to escape on the east side of this room. There's a little chasm in the wall you can actually go through. It's fairly hard to see, so you may need to move your camera angle slightly, but head on through there. Once you're to freedom, we now need to head directly to our east, and then slightly south, and we'll hit Larry for the last time. So, quickly go through his little options, and that's pretty much it, people. You'll have this one last cutscene here, but that is it in a nutshell. So, for completing this quest, you gain 1 quest point, 2k crafting XP, 5k agility XP, 1.5k construction XP, the ability to build penguin suits, and of course 2 spins on the Squeal of Fortune. Additionally, you can now gain some extra points while doing the penguin hide and seek minigame, which basically means free XP every single week. So why not do it? It's a quest well worth doing. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you all later.